Have you ever witnessed nature's most unlikely hero emerge when hope seemed lost? Where ancient rivalries are forgotten in the face of injustice? Deep in Rwanda's mountains, something extraordinary unfolded that challenged everything we know about survival. Today's story begins with a defenseless elder facing his final moments, and an impossible act of courage that left wildlife experts speechless, proving that even the fiercest predators can possess the gentlest hearts. Hi in Rwanda's Volcanoes National Park. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. Where mist-shrouded volcanic peaks pierce the African highlands, lies one of the continent's most extraordinary wilderness sanctuaries. This UNESCO World Heritage Site encompasses ancient montane forests where towering bamboo groves create natural cathedrals beneath canopies so dense that sunlight filters through in ethereal golden beams. The air pulses with life, thick with the earthy scent of moss-covered volcanic soil and the gentle whisper of mountain streams cascading down weathered lava slopes. Ancient Hyenas trees stretch their gnarled branches skyward like natural monuments, their trunks wrapped in emerald blankets of epiphytic moss that glisten with perpetual highland moisture. Giant lobelias dot the landscape with otherworldly blue spires, while delicate wild orchids bloom in impossible colors along fallen branches that have become nurse logs for countless species. But these mystical highlands harbor secrets that challenge our understanding of nature's rigid hierarchies. This is a place where the impossible becomes reality, where ancient evolutionary programming yields to something far more profound, moments of cross-species heroism that redefine our comprehension of animal consciousness and moral complexity. The park's unique geography creates an extraordinary phenomenon, overlapping territories where mountain gorillas, occasional lions from lower savanna zones, and opportunistic hyena clans share resources during seasonal migrations. This delicate balance has persisted through careful mutual respect and territorial avoidance. What was about to unfold on one fog-laden morning would forever change how researchers view the emotional intelligence of Africa's apex predators. It was an act so unprecedented, so contrary to millions of years of survival programming, that it would force scientists to reconsider the very nature of empathy and justice across species boundaries. This extraordinary event would prove that when the vulnerable face overwhelming odds, heroes can emerge from the most unexpected sources, demonstrating that even the fiercest hearts harbor profound capacity for mercy. This is where our story begins, in cloud-wrapped peaks where miracles hide behind morning mist, and courage knows no species boundaries, setting the stage for an act of heroism that would leave everyone speechless. In the heart of the Volcanoes National Park lived Bakari, a solitary male lion whose unusual presence in these highland territories had puzzled researchers for over 3 years. Unlike his savanna cousins, Bakari had adapted to the mountain environment during a territorial dispute that had driven him from the lowlands. Standing nearly 4 feet at the shoulder with a magnificent dark mane streaked with silver, his amber eyes reflected the wisdom of a predator who had learned to survive in terrain never meant for lions. Bakari's territory encompassed a unique corridor between bamboo forests and open grassland patches, where he had developed hunting strategies tailored to the mountain ecosystem. His powerful frame bore the scars of adaptation, claw marks from leopard encounters, and the weathered appearance of a cat who had mastered an environment that challenged every instinct his species possessed. Just 500 meters deeper into the montane forest lived Muzi, an elderly mountain gorilla whose name meant old man in Swahili, a fitting tribute to the park's most respected patriarch. At 43 years old, Muzi was ancient by gorilla standards, his once massive silverback frame now showing the gentle frailty of advanced age. His weathered face bore the accumulated wisdom of 4 decades in these mountains, while his kind, dark eyes reflected a lifetime of peaceful leadership. Muzi had long since passed leadership of his family group to younger males, choosing instead to spend his twilight years in quiet solitude near the sacred bamboo groves where he had been born. His daily routine consisted of methodical foraging for tender shoots, long periods of contemplative rest, and the occasional visit from younger gorillas who seemed to seek his gentle presence for comfort. What made this territorial arrangement extraordinary was the unspoken respect that had developed between these 2 unlikely neighbors. Bakari had learned to recognize Muzi's foraging patterns and had never once displayed aggressive behavior toward the elderly gorilla. In return, Muzi showed no fear when occasionally encountering the lion during his daily wanderings. This remarkable coexistence, built on mutual tolerance and perhaps even understanding, would prove crucial to the extraordinary events about to unfold. Events that would test whether respect between species could evolve into something far more profound when one faced mortal danger. Dawn broke serenely over the Volcanoes National Park that misty Thursday morning, painting the highland canopy in soft hues of pearl and gold as the first rays of sunlight pierced through the perpetual mountain fog. Wisps of vapor rose from the forest floor like ethereal spirits, creating an almost mystical atmosphere as dewdrops caught the early light on countless spiderwebs stretched between bamboo stalks. Bakari had settled into his morning routine beneath a massive hyena tree, where the ancient giant's sprawling canopy provided perfect shelter while offering commanding views of his unusual mountain territory. The lion's powerful frame rested in complete relaxation, his magnificent mane catching occasional mountain breezes that provided relief from the highland humidity. His keen amber eyes occasionally swept the bamboo groves with the casual vigilance of a predator completely at peace in his adopted domain. 500 meters deeper into the montane forest, Muzi had begun his daily foraging ritual with the unhurried grace that defined his elderly years. The aged gorilla moved slowly through his favorite bamboo grove, his weathered hands selecting tender shoots with the methodical precision of 4 decades of experience. His gentle movements created barely a whisper in the dense undergrowth, a testament to the profound connection he had developed with his mountain sanctuary. The morning soundscape was quintessentially Rwandan highland, the melodic calls of Rwenzori Turikos echoing through the mist-shrouded valleys, the distant splash of mountain streams cascading over volcanic rocks, and the gentle rustling of bamboo leaves swaying in cool morning breezes. Somewhere high above, a troop of golden monkeys chattered softly in the canopy, their voices barely audible over the peaceful symphony of awakening forest life. Both Bakari and Muzi existed in perfect harmony with their shared environment, each following routines that had been refined over years of mountain living. The lion's adaptation to highland hunting patterns complemented the gorilla's ancient foraging wisdom, creating a delicate balance that embodied everything beautiful about coexistence in this unique ecosystem. It was the kind of perfect morning that represented the timeless rhythm of life in the volcanoes, a moment of pure tranquility that neither creature could know was about to be shattered by events that would test the very limits of interspecies compassion. The peaceful morning silence was suddenly torn apart by a sound that made Bakari's blood freeze. The distinctive, bone-chilling cackle of spotted hyenas echoing through the bamboo groves with predatory excitement. His massive head snapped up instantly, ears swiveling toward the disturbance like twin radar dishes scanning for threat assessment. The calls were coming from Muzi's usual foraging area, approximately 400 meters into the dense montane forest. But these weren't the casual vocalizations of hyenas passing through territory. The intensity and sustained nature of their laughter indicated they had found something vulnerable, something that had triggered their pack-hunting instincts. Bakari's tactical mind, honed by years of mountain survival, immediately processed the terrifying implications of hyenas operating in coordinated formation within the elderly gorilla's peaceful sanctuary. Mixed with the hyena's excited cackling came another sound that struck Bakari's heart like a physical blow, the deep, distressed vocalizations of a gorilla in serious trouble. These weren't the typical warning calls Muzi might use to establish territorial boundaries, but something far more desperate, more pleading. The calls carried the unmistakable tone of an elderly creature facing overwhelming odds with nowhere to retreat. Bakari rose to his feet with fluid precision, his powerful muscles tensing as every predatory instinct screamed danger alerts. Through the dense bamboo stalks, he could see glimpses of movement in the direction of the commotion. Dark shapes darting between the towering green columns with the coordinated efficiency that made hyena packs such formidable hunters. The sounds were escalating rapidly, becoming more frantic with each passing second. Hyena laughter grew more intense and excited, while Muzi's calls became increasingly desperate and weak. The elderly gorilla's voice carried exhaustion and fear that spoke of a creature pushed beyond his physical limits by relentless persecution. Bakari found himself facing an impossible decision that challenged everything about his nature as a solitary mountain predator. The logical choice was simple: avoid the dangerous hyena pack, and protect his own territory. But something deeper, something that transcended survival instincts, was pulling him toward the sounds of an old friend in mortal danger. Every second of hesitation could mean the difference between intervention and tragedy, and time was running out with devastating speed. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. As Bakari moved stealthily through the dense bamboo forest toward the source of the commotion, the scene that greeted him was every peaceful creature's worst nightmare. There, trapped against a massive volcanic boulder in a small clearing, was Muzi. The gentle patriarch pressed back against the cold stone with nowhere left to retreat as 6 massive spotted hyenas formed a tightening semicircle around him. The pack moved with the calculated cruelty that made hyenas among Africa's most feared predators. Their powerful shoulders rolled with each deliberate step as they closed off every possible escape route, their distinctive spotted coats matted with the evidence of recent scavenging expeditions. The lead female, a battle-scarred matriarch easily weighing over 100 pounds, approached Muzi with methodical precision, her massive jaws, capable of crushing elephant bones, hanging slightly open in anticipation. What made the scene heartbreaking was Muzi's obvious vulnerability. At 43 years old, the elderly gorilla lacked the strength and agility that might have allowed a younger male to escape or fight effectively. His weathered hands trembled with exhaustion as he pressed against the unforgiving volcanic rock, his kind, dark eyes reflecting confusion and terror at this unexpected violation of his peaceful sanctuary. The hyenas were in no hurry to end their torment. These notorious predators were renowned for their psychological warfare, using intimidation and sustained harassment to weaken prey before the final attack. Their bone-chilling laughter echoed off the surrounding bamboo stalks as they took turns lunging toward the trapped gorilla, forcing him to waste precious energy in futile defensive gestures. Muzi's deep vocalizations had grown weak and raspy, his calls for help becoming fainter with each labored breath. The gentle giant who had spent 4 decades as a peaceful presence in these mountains now faced his final moments at the mercy of creatures whose cruelty toward vulnerable animals was legendary throughout the African wilderness. The pack's excitement was building to a crescendo, their coordinated movements indicating they were preparing for the final assault. The lead female's cold eyes fixed on Muzi's throat with predatory calculation, while her subordinates positioned themselves to prevent any last-minute escape attempt. Time was running out rapidly, and nature's most ruthless scavengers were about to claim one of the mountain's most beloved residents. The sight before him triggered something unprecedented within Bakari's predatory consciousness, an emotional response that defied millions of years of evolutionary programming. His amber eyes fixed on Muzi's terrified face, and instead of seeing potential competition or territorial threat, he saw something that bypassed every survival instinct he possessed. An elderly, defenseless creature facing cruel torment from overwhelming odds. Bakari's massive frame trembled with internal conflict as he processed the brutal mathematics of intervention. 6 hyenas represented a formidable force, even for a mountain-adapted lion. Their bone-crushing jaws and coordinated pack tactics had brought down prey far larger and more powerful than a single cat. Charging into their formation would likely mean death for both him and Muzi. Yet something deeper than logic was driving his response. The gentle gorilla's weak calls for help seemed to resonate with protective instincts Bakari never knew he possessed. This wasn't about territory or hunting rights. This was about witnessing injustice against a creature who had never shown him anything but peaceful coexistence during their years as unlikely neighbors. The lion's tactical mind raced through possibilities. A direct frontal assault would be suicide. The narrow clearing provided no strategic advantages, and the hyena's positioning showed they were experienced pack hunters who would quickly adapt to any threat. But Muzi's exhausted breathing and increasingly faint vocalizations indicated time was running out with terrifying speed. What made Bakari's internal struggle so profound was the complete abandonment of self-preservation instincts. Every fiber of his being as a solitary predator screamed that this wasn't his fight, that survival meant avoiding dangerous confrontations with superior numbers. Mountain lions lived or died by their ability to pick battles they could win. But as he watched the hyenas close in on the helpless patriarch, Bakari found himself crossing a psychological boundary that separated mere survival from something approaching moral courage. The sight of cruelty against the innocent was triggering responses he couldn't ignore, even if it meant sacrificing everything he had built in these mountains. The hyenas' laughter grew more excited as they sensed victory approaching, and Bakari realized he had reached the moment where he would either act or become a witness to tragedy. 800 meters up the volcanic slope, Dr. Ishema Uwimana, Rwanda's leading mountain gorilla specialist, was conducting her weekly behavioral survey when the urgent crackling of her radio pierced the highland morning stillness. The transmission came from Gabriel Hakizimana, a veteran park ranger whose 28 years of mountain patrol experience had earned him legendary status among Rwanda's conservation community. Dr. Uwimana, this is Gabriel at Observation Post Kilo 4. His voice carried an urgency that immediately commanded attention. I need you at grid reference 7 Alpha immediately. I'm witnessing something through my binoculars that contradicts everything I know about predator behavior. There's a lion positioned near a hyena pack attack, but he's not participating or retreating. His body language suggests he's planning something. Dr. Uwimana, who had dedicated 18 years to studying the complex social dynamics of Volcanoes National Park's unique ecosystem, felt her pulse accelerate. Gabriel was one of Rwanda's most experienced wildlife observers, a man whose understanding of animal behavior had been refined through nearly 3 decades of protecting these mountains. If he was reporting anomalous lion behavior, it deserved immediate investigation. Gabriel, can you identify the gorilla involved? She asked while rapidly gathering her emergency field equipment, a comprehensive kit containing tranquilizer gear, medical supplies, and communication devices that had served her through countless wildlife crises. It's Musée, Gabriel's voice crackled back with growing concern. The old patriarch is trapped against the boulder formation in Sector 7. 6 hyenas have him cornered, and they're using their psychological warfare tactics. But this lion, Dr. Uwimana, I've never seen predator behavior like this. He's not hunting or defending territory. He appears to be evaluating the situation like he's considering intervention. Dr. Uwimana's scientific mind raced through possibilities as she started her field vehicle and began navigating the treacherous mountain terrain toward Gabriel's coordinates. Interspecies intervention during predator attacks was virtually unheard of in wild populations, especially involving solitary lions and vulnerable gorillas. Her radio crackled again. Doctor, the situation is deteriorating rapidly. Muzee's calls are getting weaker and the hyenas are preparing for their final assault. Whatever this line is planning, it needs to happen soon. When Dr. Uwimana finally reached Gabriel's observation point, what she witnessed through her binoculars defied every principle of predator behavior she had studied throughout her career. Bakari was positioned at the edge of the clearing in what could only be described as tactical assessment posture. His massive frame coiled with potential energy while his amber eyes calculated angles and distances with the precision of a military strategist. Most remarkably, the lion seemed to be timing his approach to coincide with the hyena's pack dynamics. Each time the lead female focused on Musée, Bakari would shift position slightly, using the bamboo cover to mask his movements while maintaining clear sightlines to the trapped gorilla. It was coordinated planning that suggested cognitive complexity, far beyond typical predatory behavior. Gabriel's radio transmission confirmed her observations. Doctor, I can see the lion has been studying their formation for several minutes. He's not hunting. He's preparing for some kind of intervention. This is unprecedented behavior for a solitary mountain cat. Dr. Uwimana immediately contacted the Volcanoes National Park Emergency Response Team, requesting immediate backup with large predator dispersal equipment and veterinary support for potential casualties. The situation was deteriorating rapidly, with Muzee's breathing becoming visibly labored and the hyena pack showing clear signs of preparing for their final assault. Her field radio crackled with confirmation that a helicopter rescue team was airborne and heading toward their coordinates, equipped with specialized equipment for managing multi-species wildlife emergencies. But given Muzee's condition and the hyena's aggressive posturing, intervention needed to happen within minutes rather than the 20 minutes required for aerial backup. What happened next would challenge every assumption about the emotional and cognitive capabilities of African apex predators. As Dr. Uwimana watched through her high-powered binoculars, Bakari made a decision that would rewrite wildlife behavioral textbooks. The mountain lion began moving deliberately toward the hyena pack, not with the stealth of a hunter, but with the determined stride of a creature who had chosen justice over self-preservation. Gabriel's amazed voice came through the radio. "Dr. Uwimana, he's actually going to challenge 6 hyenas to save that gorilla. I've never seen anything like this in 3 decades of field work." What unfolded next would be remembered as one of the most extraordinary acts of interspecies heroism ever documented in wildlife research. Bakari emerged from the bamboo grove with the fluid power of Africa's apex predator, his magnificent mane flowing as he positioned himself between the hyena pack and the trapped gorilla. His roar shattered the mountain's silence like rolling thunder, echoing off the volcanic slopes with such primal force that birds exploded from trees across the entire valley. The hyenas' excited laughter died instantly as they processed this unexpected and formidable challenger. Their pack confidence wavered visibly as they found themselves facing a 400-pound mountain lion whose battle scars and territorial roar spoke of a predator who had mastered survival in impossible terrain. The lead female's cruel eyes shifted nervously between Bakari and her intended victim, her tactical mind recalculating odds that had suddenly turned unfavorable. But Bakari wasn't finished with psychological warfare. In a display of strategic brilliance that left Dr. Uwimana speechless, the lion began a slow, deliberate advance toward the pack while maintaining constant eye contact with the led hyena. His movements conveyed absolute confidence and deadly intent, the body language of a predator who had chosen his ground and would not retreat. The turning point came when Bakari released a second, even more thunderous roar while simultaneously charging forward with explosive speed. His powerful hindquarters propelled him directly toward the pack's formation, claws extended and teeth bared in the most intimidating display of feline aggression Gabriel had ever witnessed. Faced with a mountain-adapted lion in full attack mode, the hyena pack made the only logical decision their survival instincts would allow. Their bone-chilling laughter transformed into uncertain whimpers as they began backing away from both Mozi and this unexpected champion, who had appeared from nowhere to challenge their cruelty. One by one, the hyenas abandoned their positions, retreating toward the forest edge with the frustrated snarls of predators who had been denied their prey by superior force. The lead female cast one final malevolent glance at Bakari before disappearing into the bamboo thickets, her pack following in reluctant but decisive retreat. The clearing fell silent, except for Muzi's labored breathing and Bakari's protective presence standing guard over the elderly gorilla's exhausted form. As the last hyena disappeared into the forest depths, the most extraordinary moment unfolded in the sudden mountain silence. Bakari approached the exhausted Muzi with deliberate gentleness, his amber eyes reflecting concern rather than predatory instinct. The elderly gorilla, still pressed against the volcanic boulder, looked up at his unlikely savior with profound recognition and gratitude. When the veterinary team arrived, they found both animals maintaining a respectful distance while sharing the same space, a testament to the bond forged through courage and compassion. Mozi recovered fully from his ordeal, while Bakari returned to his territory, forever changed by his choice to value justice over survival. Dr. Uwimana's documentation of the rescue sparked international scientific debate about moral behavior in apex predators. Her footage became groundbreaking evidence of interspecies heroism that challenged fundamental assumptions about animal consciousness and ethical capacity. The extraordinary event proved that even in nature's harshest moments, heroes emerge from unexpected places when witnessing injustice becomes unbearable. Today, both Bakari and Muzi continue to thrive in Rwanda's highlands, their story serving as powerful evidence that compassion transcends all evolutionary boundaries. In the mist-wrapped peaks of the volcanoes, where ancient wisdom meets modern understanding, the impossible became possible when a lion's fierce heart chose mercy over self-preservation, leaving everyone who witnessed it absolutely speechless. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.